morning, or is it afternoon? Um, Today I'm with my friend, and this girl, we met in Berlin, Germany in 2018 for the first time in our lives. And it was the first day, and we clicked and sat together throughout the conference, which was it 1 week?
1 week.
1 week. And we laughed together. We were walking in Berlin City together early mornings. And finally, she's here in Kenya to visit me. Of course, she's also here for a board meeting. She's a very important person. We've been communicating on WhatsApp, and finally this day has come. So Cherrie is a board member for GAIN, and she's going to tell you what GAIN is all about. And I felt it's very important that I share my friend with you, because she has a wealth of experience in entrepreneurship, in farming, and in the UN globally. And it is, I mean, we don't hold this wealth. And so today I want to welcome my friend Cherrie Atilano. Cherrie Atilano is from Philippines. She's a Filipino girl. Yeah. And Cherrie, tell us more about you.
Oh, thank you so much, Eunice, for having me here in Nairobi, Kenya. And I love being here. I never could have imagined that after 6 years, we are reunited. And I'm basically in your home. You're adopting me, and that's what friendship is all about. You always have home in different parts of the Philippines as long as you maintain good friends. And so I'm here. It's because first, I'm going to attend the board meeting of the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. And when I found out about it, that the board meeting will be in Kenya, of course, I cannot be in Kenya without being with Eunice.
Wow.
So
I'm honored.
So it is like first in the protocol, I need to spend time with you. So I'm very happy I'm here.
Wow. And so glad that you actually came earlier, so that you spent time together before your board meeting. And so tell us, what does GAIN mean, and what do you do at GAIN?
Yeah, so I'm on the global board of Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, or GAIN. We have our office in Kenya. We're actually present in different countries in all over the world, but in Kenya is like our very active office. We work a lot on fighting global malnutrition and focusing on healthy diets for people. And here in Kenya, we have very magnificent work in terms of helping children to be nourished, helping women to be part of the ecosystem and the supply chain, and also helping how Kenyans could basically have healthy diets in the future to fight not only hunger but really malnutrition. Because for me, for example, it's my personal advocacy that having food is not enough. We need to demand healthy food on our plate on a daily basis. But at the same time, when you have healthy food in your table, or especially in your plate, in particular, it needs to also include people in the supply chain.
Yeah.
The people are very, very close to my heart, the farmers.
Wow.
So we need to include the farmers. We need to, focus on sourcing locally to help the farmers and bring them in the supply chain, so that each one of us could have a healthy plate. Coming from our own land, produced by our own farmers, and it's being eaten by us like in a very healthy manner.
Wow, that's so powerful. No wonder you look so healthy. I can testify. She eats healthy. She lives healthy. Yes. So it's not a contradiction. You really aligns to what you do, and especially who know that a Filipino is, when she's at Philippines or wherever she is, she's thinking about Kenyans and how Kenyans can eat healthy and how Kenyans can include the farmer. This is awesome. And I always say that if the farmer does not farm, then we all will we all die.
Famished.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why it is very important to pause, even as we complain about the economy, about all the things that are going around us. It's important that we pause and say, thank you, Lord, for this farmer,
Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
Lord, for all the people in the value chain that make it possible for you to have that cup of coffee or that cup of tea on your table. Yeah, so thank you so much, Cherrie, for this. I want to ask, you're also the president of Agrea. Tell us, who is Agrea? What do you do there? Yes.
Oh, I've been in entrepreneurship for quite a while. I think I would rather call myself as like a serial entrepreneur in agribusiness. A foundation, it's another organization that I also founded 2 years after the company. It's because I feel the need to make the farmers more educated, especially on sustainable agriculture, the ways now on regenerative agriculture. How do we regenerate the health of our soil, the health of our water, and then the health of our planet, right?
Wow.
So in Agrea, in the foundation, I remember writing a curriculum in 2016. I am an agriculturist myself.
Okay.
So true and true, I know how to farm. I know, somehow good technologies in farming. So in 2017, I opened a farm school in the Philippines.
Wow.
So the farm school is run by Agrea Foundation, the nonprofit. So right now, we produce more than 3,000 graduates in our farm school.
Wow.
So
Pioneer?
yes, and in the last several years. So per month, we produce around 20 to 30 graduates in our farm school, because the farm school runs like, even if you don't know how to read and write, you learn technologies in agriculture. So I personally design our curriculum on how to teach farmer make organic fertilizer out of their farm waste, how to make biopesticides out of the beautiful flowers and herbs around. We also teach farmers on financial literacy. We also teach farmers on how to be entrepreneurial in their mindset, that they are not just farmers, they are farmer entrepreneurs. We also teach the children of the farmers to love farming.
Oh, wow.
Because a lot of children of the farmers, they don't want to farm.
Yeah. Oh.
Their fathers would tell them, or their parents would tell them, don't follow my footsteps. I'm struggling, I'm poor because I've been a farmer. So you go out of the farm, do whatever it takes, educate yourself so that you will not go back in farming. But if young people will not go back in farming, we will not solve our food insecurity globally.
Wow.
Where do we get our food, right?
Interesting. So the parents are telling their children, do not be like me, the farmer. This happens also in Kenya.
Oh.
It's interesting because it's not unique to Philippines. And the question is, what is this that makes farmers feel that, they start looking for options? Because what that means is that if they had an option, they would actually go for the other option and not farm.
Yes.
And I like what you say, that if we don't encourage young people to farm, it means that in future we'll have no food.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So what is this that causes farmers to feel like it is not worth being a farmer?
It is because, most of the time they don't really see there's money in farming. A lot of our farmers, they're stuck on the cycle of poverty, cycle of debt, financial debt, because they couldn't pay their financier to do their farming. Another one, infrastructure in agriculture is totally very difficult. The farm to market road, it's not present. It's so difficult for farmers to bring their produce to the market. And of course, like a decent farmer, a decent access of farmers to markets. Sometimes, before the farmers could go to the market, there are just so many infrastructure support that they need. Vehicular support, road transport, and everything. And that needs capitalizations. Capital is not present. So there are so many circumstances and challenges that hampers, farmers to really go into being sustainable. So, but for me as an entrepreneur, like in our business in Agrea, connecting farmers to the right market, connecting farmers to direct access to market, and paying them the right price based on fair trade, could really help farmers get out of poverty and love farming again. That farming is actually a business. You know, it's not like a hobby, it's a business, it's a source of income.
Wow. I like what you said, the access to markets.
Yes.
And this is similar actually to Kenya. Recently, I was asking one of my team members to just find out what is this that farmers are facing in Kenya. And he came back and told me that the access to market is a very big thing. Actually, it's two things: capital and market. So at Agrea, how do you find the market for the farmer?
So we're very intentional in finding markets for our farmers. So in the Philippines, we are just so lucky that we partner with a very good French company. It's called Sodexo. So it's a very good French company. They do a lot of catering in the Philippines for big multinational companies, especially for tech giants and business process outsourcing or BPO or call centers, right?
Yes, yes.
So we engage with them in a good partnership. We name it workforce nutrition. How do we feed the Filipinos and the people? It may be Filipinos or foreigners or different professionals working on those companies with healthy and nutritious food sourced locally.
Wow.
So in that aspect, we call it workforce nutrition. Actually, GAIN is pushing for workforce nutrition globally.
Okay.
And this workforce nutrition, we created a theme. It's called the Nourishing Workforce, sustainably sourced from well-nourished farmers.
Wow.
So you have a vision of the people working on a daily basis for these big companies. If their health suffers because they eat very unhealthy food in cafeterias, for example, or in convenience store where they can buy cheaper options for food, and if they have high absenteeism in the company, their performance is low. It's low performance for the company. But if their health is good, they eat healthy, they have less absenteeism, they can perform better for the company. So better contribution for the company's income, and for them also, they have good income to bring home. Because most of these people working are breadwinners of their families. You know, they earn income. Like for example, BPOs, they work 24/7 most of the time, and it's always like they work in the evening because Filipinos we cater to Western market. So you lack sleep, and if your food is not healthy, then there's something wrong with your body, and it's increased absenteeism. And if you are the breadwinner of your family, if you get sick, who will feed your family? So for me as an entrepreneur, I said if I want to go for a market, I look for companies that are working on this one. How can I contribute on making the Filipino workforce healthier while helping also these companies lessen their carbon footprint and focus on sustainability, because most of these companies are always asking for what's our impact on the environment, ESG compliance, right? What's our impact socially? Do we impact socially with the poorest of the poor? Do we include people? And then another one is what's the impact in governance? So in our company, it's actually our sales pitch. It's our unique selling proposition. We don't give you fruits and vegetables. We give you fruits and vegetables with sustainability reporting. That there are women in the supply chain included. There are smallholder farmers increasing their income because now we source locally from them. They have access to market, and then their land is becoming more sustainable in terms of environmental compliance, because instead of just planting tomato, now they're planting 10, 20 different 60,000 people in the workforce through Sodexo doing it, and we are helping them make it happen for their big clients.
Wow. Did you guys hear that? And there's something I like so much, and at 20X we train entrepreneurs and salespeople on how to sell, and you brought out something very important here: understanding the customer, understanding the your target customer, what pain do they have, what desires do they have, what aspirations do they have, and yours is very interesting because you have farmers on this side.
Yes.
30,000 small scale farmers. I feel like clapping for you.
It's a lot of hard work. A lot of community work happening on the ground.
I can imagine. But this is, you've put yourself on your life on the line to solve a big global problem, and starting with Philippines to the world. And what I want you to get from what Cherrie is talking about is understanding, what does the farmer want? What does the farmer need? They want meaningful gain for their work, so that then they can encourage their children to farm. And then she goes on the other side of the market. I call it the double side market. And says, what do the workforce want? What are the challenges they are facing? That if they're not well nourished, then they will not perform. And she also, actually yours is not double side, it's three side.
Three sides.
Because she's also looking at, what does the world need? Sustainability. And together she is able to create a business that, I like what you said, makes money sustainably. You're not going to destroy the environment in the process of making money. And so, guys, please remember, it's not about you. It's not about your product. It's not about all the many things you're doing. It's about, what does the customer want?
Yes. And I really want to add with that, because as entrepreneurs, I think sometimes we're so driven on money, right?
Yes.
We're so driven on returns. We're so driven on ROI. In our company, we're trying to implement social return on investment, right? How do you do good and do well at the same time?
How do you do good and do well at the same time?
So instead of just focusing on return on investment, which is very financial in measure, we also go on social return on investment. If we're making money, are the farmers making money? Are we changing their lives? Because for me, Eunice, you know my life story. I started teaching farmers at the age of 12.
Wow.
So this has been more than 27 years. So don't ask what's my age. But
don't ask a lady.
But it's really so beautiful on how, as an entrepreneur, you step a little bit backward and see, if I want to really create impact in this world, what kind of impact am I creating? Of course, job generation is one, but what else? What else that you can think outside the box? So in our work, we do a lot of, how do we really change the lives of the farmers, right? Because for me, it's a crime against humanity that the producers of the food in the food chain, the farmers and the fishers, are the poorest, the hungriest, and the most malnourished.
It's very sad. It's so sad. And I was telling you about my story and coffee. You see, I don't take coffee. And why I don't take coffee is because I grew up in a coffee farm. And those who grew up in the coffee farming, you know how hard it is. You pick coffee when it is raining, you carry it on your back. Those days you carry it on the back, and the water is just dripping on you. Then you go to the factory and you sleep in the factory, and then the worst is when it is time to be paid, there is nothing. And you're right, it is crime against humanity. Forget about all, it's just like killing somebody.
Yes, it is. Same like you, right? I don't take sugar since I was 15 because I grew up in a sugarcane farm. I saw how drudgery was happening front in my very eyes, so I feel like it's my little activism not to take sugar. Until now, I don't take sugar because I feel like there's so much, dignity that needs to be restored. That's why in my company we call it ecology of dignity. That's our mantra. You know, when you go for Agrea, it's like ecology of dignity. How do you dignify people? How do you dignify the environment? How do you dignify the customers who are eating our produce? You know, so people who believes in our produce, they feel like they're part of the entire supply chain.
Wow.
You know, they feel like this is a business that is not only transactional, but this is the business that is transformational. It's transforming the ecosystem. And if you're the customer, I feel I'm part of that, of transforming the ecosystem.
So guys, Kenyans, it's not just about money. Yes, and I understand you need to make money. But as Cherrie is saying, make money as you do good.
Yes.
And somebody say that you will get anything you want in life so long as you help as many people get what they want. So let's think about what, that employee you have in your workplace. How are you ensuring that they're dignified? How about, that farmer? Or that, look at the value chain.
Yes.
Let's dignify people. Yeah, and remember, we are created. God created us to serve. And who do you serve? You don't serve trees, you serve people. And making sure the environment is safe for the people. Now, Cherrie, I want to ask you a question because I know these guys are wondering. So then, how can I want to get into agribusiness, or I'm already in agribusiness in Kenya? What would you advise me?
For me, first, if you want to go into agribusiness, it's a road less travel. It's not an easy journey. You know, for me, like agriculture is really like a profession of hope because it's not easy to plant coffee. You plant coffee, they bear fruits in 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
You need to be, having that kind of tenacity and grit. But for people who are working into agribusiness, I would always say that you need to know your market. Because you don't plant tomatoes if there's no market for tomatoes, because when you're harvesting it will not last. They will all get rotten, right? So be very, very careful that you have a sure market, so that in our company we call it inclusive market-oriented business. Inclusive. So you know your market and then you pull it back to your farmers. So we know what our farmers will be farming for us, how much and how many they will be farming for us. Because we know that, okay, this year we are feeding 60,000 people every day, and last year with Sodexo, they cooked for 8.5 million healthy meals, and we somehow contributed to that. And we know how much eggplant we need, how much carrots we need to plant. So knowing your market, what they want, and collaborating with your market, understanding that is really something that could help you make your agribusiness sustainable. And second one, it's really the value addition. So like for example, even in our company, we don't stop just sending fresh produce. We're also developing products like ginger turmeric tea. I was showing to you the processing we're building right in our farm. And another one is really what else you can do in helping the farmers. So another one is there are just so many things that the farming sector is being challenged. The United Nations during the pandemic said that we need to transform. It needs to become a food systems transformation. It doesn't just be agriculture. It cannot just be supply chain. It cannot just be eating or cooking, right? It needs to be a whole food systems transformation where food, energy, water, and the nexus of health of people, very important. So if you're an entrepreneur focusing on agribusiness, you need to somehow educate yourself. What's the latest trend? And what the capacity of your farmers. Maybe there are some agri-technology that the farmers could adopt, or maybe there are some resources in the farms that we just need to be empowered, like the women in the farms. Eunice, I'm a strong believer of women. I love working with women farmers because for us, when it's difficult, the women will be out there making it happen. So we did this in our company. We have Women Food Producers Associations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have almost 500 of them now.
Wow.
And these women, were teaching them agribusiness. And in 3 years, hopefully, we will launch like a microfinance just for them.
Wow.
Because they really make the business happen.
Yeah.
They know basic math. They know, when the husband couldn't deliver, they find ways to make it happen. Because if they don't have income, the children cannot be in school or they have no food.
Yeah.
So the resources are around. So if you're an entrepreneur, you need to be somehow, don't just romanticize your Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you need to go out there, roll out your sleeves, and if you need to dig a hole to plant something, you need to plant it.
Yes.
If you need to drive a truck to deliver your product,
Yeah.
you need to do it.
Yeah.
Like during the pandemic, I was the one like carrying crates to deliver, produce to neighbors and hospitals, even prisons,
Yeah.
because those are our clients. So, I could just like sit there and watch whatever on Netflix, but I said like, no, I need to work.
Yeah.
I need to take the lead, and I need to take responsibility to make this agribusiness happen.
Wow. Wow. This is so powerful. I like the part where you said that for me to do well in agribusiness, I need to understand the market.
Yes.
And that you bring out that it's what we train at 20X Entrepreneur. We don't start by producing solutions for a market we don't know so that we start looking for market. We start by understanding the market, the customer, and understanding what is it that they need, and then work backwards. And I like what you said. You get your hands on the job and get it done, so that then you can deliver for the market.
Yes.
That is very profound, and that is, and guys, you can see that entrepreneurship is all through selling.
Yes.
It's all about selling. It's about listening to what the customer wants, to what all the people on the value chain want, and delivering it.
Yes.
I love that.
I totally agree. And then, of course, knowing your market, right? But one of the most insightful that I've learned, the market is changing so much.
Yeah.
Of course, it's always like, a debate on price, a debate of preference of the market. But at the same time, we have now a market that's asking for sustainability, that's asking for more. A lot of young people in the markets that we're working, they love it when we discuss to them that, okay, by the way, the vegetables that you're actually eating are coming from these farmers. And now these farmers are, having a decent life, increased income, their children are in school. The market always want to be part of change.
Wow.
Because I think if you're sitting there in your office and sometimes you don't have the liberty to create change in a more impactful way, you want it like something that hopefully a plate where I eat every day could be a force for change, a force for good.
Yeah.
So that's actually what we're trying to do also with our market. It's like a lot of the people working with the companies that are, we are serving these fruits and vegetables, they're always into advocacy of sustainability. They're aware that our planet is burning.
Yes.
So they're aware that they need to help more people because there's just so many information out there. The moment you open your phone, you're depressed.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so a lot of these young people who are basically our second layer customers, they're always asking for how can we help? How can we be part of making change? Because sometimes they are not in the position like we are, that we're in the forefront of making change, right? So we are giving that opportunity and a platform for them to create change.
Wow.
So like for example, very simple, easy example. When you eat, for example, broccoli and cauliflower, normally you just eat the head of the broccoli and cauliflower. So in the kitchens, the stalk of the broccoli and cauliflower, it's processed by, using a food processors. And they made the chefs, we have wonderful chefs who are also meeting our farmers every year. And the chefs would make like vegetable dumplings out of those.
Wow.
Or it can be a vegetable soup.
Wow.
Or it can be in a chow fan, fried rice. So, and then in the cafeteria, there are labels that this chow fan or this vegetable dumplings and the vegetable soups, it supports food loss and food waste.
Oh, wow.
So instead of throwing all these, parts of vegetables that you feel it's like you don't eat, now you can eat it. So you're actually contributing to addressing food loss and food waste.
Healthy.
And it's healthy. It's healthy for you.
How did that?
They love it so much.
There are two things you brought out very strongly, and I want us to address those two things. The first one is storytelling, because in sales, people connect with stories.
Yes.
It's not about all these, product feature. Oh, this dumpling is made of what? No, it's the story behind this particular meal that is made that people want to hear. And guys, we need to learn storytelling. Yes, there's so much information out there about everything, but you know what? That story, your story, that farmer's story has not been told.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the number one, and you will talk about that. Number two, you brought up the issue of the young generation, the working force that we have today. What you have observed, and I've been hearing many entrepreneurs telling me, there are no workers anymore.
Yeah.
And they're saying that this young generation, they don't want to work and all. And what, Cherrie, you're bringing out is that this generation want to work, but they want to work to bring change. They want purpose.
Yeah, not purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about those two things, storytelling and the workforce.
Yeah, so storytelling is, if you're an entrepreneur, you better be a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you need to, there's like my mom would always tell me, if you want to embark on this, it's not easy. I mean, you're starting a business, right? You will be the CEO, you will be the cashier, you will be the bookkeeper, you will be the accountant, you will be everything.
Yeah.
So, and the storytelling should be a skill you need to have.
Yeah.
Remember, Eunice, when we were in Berlin, we were taught about storytelling. How do you do your pitch?
Yes.
How do you sell? So my mom would always tell me, you need to sell an ice on Eskimo. You need to even know how to sell an ice on Eskimo.
I can imagine.
Because, so the power of storytelling, but it needs to be authentic storytelling for me, because you cannot just be brainwashing, you cannot be impact washing if you don't do it on the ground, and you don't really see and measure impact. So in our company, when we do storytelling, we always share the stories of the things that are happening in our communities, because it gives so much volume, so much authenticity. And people would love that in a world that everything now is fake, and and I think authentic story matters, and that gives more value on storytelling. Another view is about the what's this again? The youth, the young people and purpose. Yes, it's so true. It's becoming so difficult. I was sitting in a conference last time, that there's like an old person in a conference saying that until now I am in my first job the moment I graduated. So I'm in this job for 34 years.
Yeah.
Now millennials or zillennials, I still belong to millennials, I think, almost a bit of it.
Yeah.
They're somehow called as corporate gypsies. In a year they could work in 3 different companies.
Yes. Yeah.
Our grandparents, our parents would stick for 34 years in one company moment they get their diploma, because it means there's so much opportunities. There are so much information out there. A person can be an influencer overnight via TikTok or YouTube. Before you can be an influencer, like Madonna, you need to really hustle it out, dance it out, and sing it out to be an influencer. But now you just wake up and you feel you can be an influencer,
and you become
one. So, but then the looking for purpose, it's really more eminent as of today. A lot of young people, when you ask them, why do you change company after 3 months? They said, because I don't find I connect to their value systems. I don't find we share the same purpose. Or I don't find that the company could really fulfill my purpose as a person. And people are asking for more purpose. People are asking for impact.
Yeah.
People are asking for belongingness where they can create impact and improve lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Connectedness. And I agree with you because I work with very young people, including this young man here. They want to find connection. It's not just work, like the way, our mothers. My mother stayed in the same school. She was a teacher. The same school for 35 years.
Yes. That's how they do
Same
it.
school, waking up every morning, going to the same place.
Yes.
I looked at her every day and I'm like, Mom, can't you find something else to do? And for me, of course, I've changed so many jobs. I changed many things. And now the younger generation is even different. They want purpose. They want to do work for good.
Yes.
They want to do work for impact.
Yes.
And so you as an entrepreneur, you need to show them and do storytelling to help them connect. Cherrie, this is one of the courses we train entrepreneurs. The first course we train entrepreneurs is how to onboard a salesperson. Oh wow. And make them with these, there are two frameworks we give them. Number one, the founder story, and the other one, the customer story, so that they can connect, they can help the employee connect with the organization.
Yes.
Because when a salesperson connects with the organization, they will keep giving you value and more value and more value, and they will not stop. So, Cherrie, as we come to the end of this conversation, we're still here, and on 26th, we want to have similar conversations with Cherrie. And I would like you to tell us what you would want to hear from her. You've known that she's the member of GAIN board. This is Global
Alliance for Improved Nutrition.
For Improved Nutrition. This is a UN body, and she forgot to say that she's an ambassador of the UN for Youth.
UN Ambassador for Food Security and Nutrition.
Exactly, UN Ambassador for Food Security and Nutrition. What do you want to ask her? I know there are many young people out there. You want to get into agribusiness, you don't know how. You want to make an impact in the world, you don't know how. This girl started when she was very young, because she's much younger than me. But I love her. So on 26th, we're going to be communicating, what it will be like, whether it's a physical event or is it a webinar. We're going to be letting you know soonest.
Yeah. So I would be happy to meet you if it's a physical event. Come and you throw your questions. I always love like a fireside chat kind of, setting where young people could engage with me, because I think there's so much that I could share based from my experience, from entrepreneurship, being a woman entrepreneur in a male-dominated industry, which is agriculture.
Yeah.
And also in my global work in the United Nations, where I advocate for food security and nutrition. So I'm more than happy to entertain and spend time with you all to share whatever knowledge and insights I have.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you soon.